Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I like how the title screen changes on every chapter. It's just neat. Like, I'm not entirely sure what this title screen is actually a reference to, but still, looks nice. Hang on, let me actually grab my controller. So, I admit that I didn't get very far in the first game. I never got out of the first area, despite putting like 6 or 7 hours into the Wii version, and I have actually bought this game twice. So, not this game, Xenoblade 1 twice. I didn't get around to X. But 2, well, I've put about 7 hours into it so far. We'll have a quick look at the options before we get into it, because, well, this is a weird game. I don't know exactly how I'm going to structure this video, which is probably pretty bad because I'm doing it right now. But there's your options right there. They all make enough sense, I assume. I have played around with them a little bit. Here's your sound volumes. There's actually a lot of sound volumes. I'll give them a bit of credit for that. And you can also change the voice language. I have been playing in Japanese. We'll get into why I think that is my choice later on. And you can change your screen brightness. I've got it a bit higher than it would be by default. Like, here's the default. There's your default. I've got it a little bit brighter than the game would have it, but there you go. So if we hit continue, we only have one save file, but you know, with the Switch you can have more than one profile to have saves on, so it's not like it's that big a deal. My game time will say that I've been playing for about 10 hours, I should say, but I've really been playing for about 7, so there's... well... Here's the thing, with a game like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't really know where to start, so I think I'll just start by wandering around, I guess. The game's got an absolutely massive world. It's not that massive, like, right now, but if this is the size of just, like, one of the areas, I can imagine just how big the rest of them are going to be. So anyway, I'm just gonna look at Pyra for a minute while we just walk in this area of nothingness, because that's a fantastic walk cycle. I mean, look at Rex. Look at Rex and how happy-go-lucky his stride seems to be. And then look at Pyra, who looks like she can barely move at all. It's so odd, really. But anyway, this is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's a massive open world to explore with things to fight, places to be, stuff to do. Although it's mainly a lot like an MMO more than anything else, there is still stuff about it. Oh, those are the... You know what? Just as a thing. Hang on. Here's your controls. I'm not going to bother putting in the effort to explain what all of these are, because seriously, the amount of controls you have in this game is kind of nonsense. So, if you want to stop and read these controls by pausing the video or something, you're more than welcome to, because seriously, the amount of controls in this game is ridiculous. I'm just trying to actually lure something in so I can fight it. That'll do. Oh, no, there we go. This thing came in the first place. So let's start fighting it, shall we? So the game's obviously main gameplay, quote-unquote, is a bit of RPG style, well, MMORPG, I should say, style combat. It's some pretty basic stuff. You have blades, and you have the people who, no, I can't remember which way around it is, but yeah, basically you've got your people who wield blades, and you've got blades. And the idea is, over there on your right side of the screen is your actions that you can do. So, for example, if I press the Y button, I use a back attack. These charge up after a certain amount of time. And if you time them right, so as you can see, I'm getting these little blue circles when I use my art. I'm actually amazed I can get the right timing, because I'm not very good with timing normally. But, as you can see, if you get the timing right by doing it at the end of an auto attack, it'll be more effective. So as you can see, it makes the attacks just that slight more bit powerful. And you've also got the different attacks having different abilities about them. So that attack I did there, the double spinning edge, it is more effective when you attack from the side, which is written right there in the thing. It's got the nice little set of descriptions as to what everything does. So you've got plenty to work with. Now, you've also got special attacks that both you and your party members can throw out. there's one special attack, and if you time it right, you can do a chain with a more powerful attack. And there are also level 4 attacks, level 3 and level 4 attacks that you can do, and you basically just gotta work your way up the chain of attacks, more or less. It's a pretty easy to understand system. I do not want to fight that. I am nowhere near in a state ready to fight that, so let's fight this thing instead. Well, it's seen us, but you can also lure it in with the down on the D-pad, which works quite nicely. So, there are a couple of other things as well. There are combat roles. So, for example, the fat little dude over there, who's actually... I love the little design of those guys. They're a species in this game. I'm not entirely sure what they're called, because I admit I don't pay too much attention to to those sorts of details in this sort of game. But the little fat dude there... I love his species just in general, because they're just hilarious in their acting, and the fact that I don't even know if they're ears, they're like arms but not. It's so strange. But yeah, I love how they act. But yeah, he is our tank, and the little cat girl there, who is probably about to fall off that edge and die. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Alright, back away from the edge, come on. Yeah, but the little cat girl there is our healer, more or less. But I do also have the ability here myself to fire off a healing potion attack. But there is also something else I can do. If I use the D-pad, I can swap blades. And swapping blades actually lets me turn into a tank here. There are different blades that you can get throughout the game via the use of core crystals, which are basically just Japanese gachas. They're just random. But we'll get into that later. We've got a little bit more exploring and stuff to do. Because I don't want to spend too long fiddling with the menus. There's a bunch of other combat mechanics going on, like, there's, like, elemental things and different status effects and all the other sort of stuff you would expect from a game like this. It's pretty basic. Nothing too out of the ordinary for a game like this, you know? The combat's still enjoyable, though. I'm having fun with it. Right, I'm gonna need to swap back to Pyra, because I need to use the anchor shot. And the potion dropped way out of reach. That's not great. Gotta try and pull him back over here. Alright, let's just try and destroy that thing before we lose all our health and get thrown back to the beginning. Except the beginning is like 30 seconds worth of walking away, but not that big a deal. You've got your power meter up on the top left there, which you can use for doing things like reviving party members, like I just did. There are also special attacks that you can use. There is an affinity thing that will occur, that will build up if you are close enough to your blade, and you charge your level 4 special attack just by being close to your party member. You can also do what they call combos, which is what I was talking about earlier when I said you have to get the level 1 attack, then the level 2, then the level 3. But other than that, it just remains pretty simple. Now, there is something I actually wanted to go do, but the problem is the map in this game isn't particularly great. So, I need to just have a little bit of a look around for a bit, which isn't the worst thing in the world, because it means I can do a couple of other sets of mechanics and just like that. Let's try and avoid that thing. Because over here, we have... What's this? Airflow. What's an airflow? Right. Oh dear. Alright, so this is a little bit of an interesting thing. Oh hey, it's a heart-to-heart spot. Cool. We're gonna have a little bit of a look at the game's writing. No voice acting in this one, because, the voice, is there actually voice acting? I can't hear it right now, honestly. You know what? Give me a sec. That is surprisingly loud, but anyway. Heart-to-hearts are just neat little social interactions between these characters. This is actually the second one I've seen in like 7 hours. It's kind of silly, but it's just, they're nice, I guess. I haven't had enough time to actually get around and see them because I haven't actually found any. It's a bit annoying, but anyway, I might as well start talking about the voice acting and just general quality of the cutscenes and stuff that's in this. Most of them are alright, for the most part. There are a few things I don't like you've got the English voice acting. Now, as much as I didn't play Xenoblade 1, I played a fair bit of it. I played like 7 hours of it, alright? And the voice acting in that, everything made sense. Everybody was in a character that made sense, and while the voice acting was a bit stilted, it still worked well enough. In this game, I have a fair few more problems with it. Like, the lip syncing is really off, no matter what voice pack you use, English or Japanese. It's weird. They just flap their lips open and closed a bit, which is really odd. And the second thing is, some of the English voice actors don't fit the characters like at all. Like, you've got Nia there, who is the cat girl, who is very, very clearly meant to be a sort of younger sort of character. In the English voice dub, they give her like a 40-year-old British actor who just doesn't seem to match the girl in the slightest. It's really strange, and there's a couple of things like that. Like, Rex's voice actor and Pyra's voice actor do alright. They're absolutely fine, but there's just a couple of, and like, when the first Titan that you meet in the game comes about and starts talking to you, his voice actor's actually quite perfect, but then he kind of goes through a bit of a change, and then his voice doesn't fit anymore. It's so weird. I'm not entirely sure why some voice actors were picked and why some weren't, but in some cases it just does work, in some cases it doesn't work. I would like to show you some of the voice acting, but yay, free treasure chests with free amounts of money and stuff like that. I would like to show you some of the voice acting, but the problem is that I'd have to go back to the main menu to do it, because strangely enough, the event theater is out there. So what I'm actually going to do instead is recommend you watch another video if you want to see what the dubbing is like, because Game Explain, who are a Nintendo-focused channel, did an absolutely fantastic video on Xenoblade Chronicles 2's dub and sub, because they went between two different sets of cutscenes. Right, we're just going to run away for a little bit, just so that we're out of range of this boss here. Well, not boss, but... oh, tits. Okay. Well, guess we're fighting two of them. I hope the tank is as good as he looks. But anyway, as I was saying... oh, we ran away. But yeah, the Game Explained video on the game's dub versus sub is actually fantastic. It does two different sets of... It does a bunch of different cutscenes in both the English and the Japanese, so you can hear pretty much everybody. I'd fully recommend you go watch that, because it would be better than anything I would recommend. Me, personally, I picked the Japanese dub because everything just fits a lot better. And there's one particular scene where this artificial blade that's directly behind Rex here, who's the main character and the one that the camera is exploring around, is... like, the character is so stereotypically Japanese that I don't think any voice actor would be able to do the character justice, which is, you know, always a little bit of a problem with games like this, but, I mean, you would hope that the English voice actor was good, but at the same time, I don't hold out any hope that voice actor was any good for that character. A couple of other battle mechanics. You can take along 3 different blades, and those 3 different blades can be your 3 different roles. Unfortunately, I'm not actually able to fill in my 3rd blade set yet, and I'm not in my 3rd blade roll yet, I should say, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's kind of weird. But, and the game takes the bud there led to nothing, I'm sorry. But the game takes a really long time to actually get going, which I think is kind of one of my main problems with it. Like, I'm 7 hours in, and I've only just got 3 party members for an extended length of time. Like, you do get 3 party members really early on in the story when they put you through one of the game's set pieces, but other than that, it takes them a really long time to give you a party set that just, we're not going through there. We are not going through there because this game's leveling is a bit whack, but we'll get to that. The game's tendency to be slow is definitely a bit of a thing against it, because it just takes a while until you actually feel somewhat capable of surviving. Like, earlier on in the game, like not too long ago, like 2-3 hours ago, I was stuck with only Rex as a party member, which meant I only had one person who had to do tanking, healing, and attacking all at once. And it just kind of sucked, because you ended up in a situation where you would go up against an enemy and you would just get absolutely flattened because you couldn't afford to... You couldn't afford to get into any reasonable amount of oh shit. Right, running now. That's a level 16, and there is also a bird following me. If these two get too close to me, I will die. You saw how much damage I took in one hit, so I just gotta try and keep running away, because they will get disinterested if I'm far enough away. I'm dead. Yeah, that happens a lot in this game. The leveling in this game is also a bit whack as well. Like, that thing was level 17. I'm level 14, almost 15, and it had me dead in a couple of hits. Like, if I had let my tank take it on, maybe I would have lived a bit longer, but yeah, there is something I can do to actually speed this up, though. We're not going to go through the menu just yet. We're just going to quick travel back to town. Why not? Probably about time I went through town, so we'll go to the fountain. Why not? I got a few shops and a few quests I can show off. Might as well go through some of the menu stuff while I'm here, but nevertheless, let's go and have a look around town. So, towns in this game are actually pretty simple. You have a bunch of different shops, and you might think, oh, do these all sell, like, things that I really need? And the answer for most of them is no. Like, say, we want to buy some artwork. If I go and buy some artwork, you can see its abilities down there. These are literally just consumables. They're like long-term consumables, but they're still consumables. That is what's in pretty much every shop, minus a couple of very specific ones. So, like, if we go to the music shop, see, specials recharge 0.8 each second. That's the whole thing, right? And most of these consumables go in your pouches, and your pouches are just things that will auto-use items just every time they run out. They're consumables and you can stack them. So, you just end up in a situation where you buy like 10 items that you like, and you'll just slowly use them over the course of a game. There are a few things that are different though. So if we come to the salvage shop, you saw a salvage point earlier, and I'll go and show one off just for the purpose of demonstration while I'm here in town and I know where a salvage point is. But the basic idea is you jump into a pit, do a little bit of a bun minigame, and get some items that you can sell. Where do you sell them? The Mass-Nudge Exchange. And I can sell them here for, well, in the case of this collection, 300 gold. I can also sell this ones here for 400 gold. And if I had the items going on here, like if I had 4 trick mirrors, I could sell them for a bravery booster and 2600 gold. You get the general idea. The more expensive cylinders you buy for diving in, the more rare stuff that you'll get. Aux cores. These are things that you can equip to your blades, and they will give you specific abilities, but you need some items in order to refine them. You can see all the ones I have here. You actually have to collect these, whether by quest rewards or by, finger snap, quest rewards or enemy drops. It's very basic. You'll get to see more of that in a little bit. The odds and ends shop will give you quest items, I believe. And also, every town in this game has its own development level. You get that up by just by buying stuff. Accessories are just things you equip to your different party members, and they'll give you different little abilities. You saw most of them there. Blacksmith gives you a core chip, and core chips will improve your different blades. So as you can see here, if I give the primitive shield to the Poppy there, who is the artificial blade, I'll get some extra crit rate and some more auto attack, but I'll get less blocking, which is not something I want because, you know, tank. And that is pretty much it for most of the shops. There is a side quest system in the game, and you can go to an inn and sleep at the inn. And sleeping at the inn will give you XP from your quests. You don't get it just right after the quest is done, which is actually kind of a neat system. There is a couple of other things as well, so I think it's about time we start going through the menus. Unfortunately, I don't have all of them unlocked yet, but oh well. You can change the time of day anytime you like, and this does actually affect certain in-game events. We will actually go and do a side quest which requires a specific time, your options, and your ability to save. The game only saves at the end of every chapter, so if you find yourself closing this game regularly, I would recommend going and saving it manually regularly. Item list, pretty obvious. Blades. You can manage your blades. Here's a few of the blades that I have. The blades that you awaken or bind with, or whatever the game wants to call it, are locked to a certain character until you get a certain set of items that can do the trick, which is kind of unfortunate, because if you get a good blade on one person that you would rather have on another person because they're set up to be the tank, well, you're kind of screwed. And you got your blade album to go through your rare blades, and I've got one rare blade at the moment. I think this is a rare blade anyway. The common blades are just more generic things. Let's go and actually bond the blade, shall we? So you can pick a party member to bond with, and you can use a certain type of core crystal, and you can use a certain kind of booster in order to try and get a more rarer sort of blade with a certain set of stats. But let's see what we get. This is entirely random, and the game does save when you do this as well, so if you feel like getting a blade, well, you can do that to save as well. What do we got? We have a lolly. Okay. I'm so confused. Okay, why not? So I gave that to Nia, who's my healer, but does that mean I can, oh, I guess I get a second tank, and she's, like, super strong as well. Holy hell. Okay, what are her abilities? Alright, she's got the hammer weapon, her affinity chart, which we'll get to, trust, max HP mod, there's her specials, which don't really matter too much. There's her blade arts, erects a barrier that absorbs fixed damage and draws aggro, right, that makes sense. Counter attack and a increased block rate, and the power to control electricity. Interesting. Yeah, you know what? Might as well. Might as well have another tank. We can... So, she can be a tank or a healer now, which is actually kind of neat, because that's actually a really nice blade to have. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of random, and considering that you can only keep them on one dude until you get the items, they'll let you swap them. It's kind of annoying, but then again, it does get fixed later. Here's our quest log. We've got a bunch of things we can do here. There's the main quest with the purple feather, but I've got a bunch of other things going on here as well. So, for example, crane criminals. I actually have the location of these dudes. I know where they are, so I'm going to set that as my main quest. The annoying thing about this is that you can only set one main quest at a time, so you'll only get pointed towards that certain quest, which kind of sucks. At least if you wander into an area, like if you get really close to an area where there is a quest to be done, you'll see a little, like, exclamation point, which is alright. You can fast travel anywhere you want, including to areas that you normally wouldn't be able to get to, which is a little bit weird. At least I think you'd be able to fast travel here. But yeah, basically, as part of the plot, I already made a big stink in Torgoth, which is the place we're in right now. So, the fact that I can fast travel back here is a little odd, but, I mean, it's a game, I'll let it go. So, here are our characters, and here's everything you can do with them. You can enhance the arts, which is the X, Y, and B button abilities that you have on these certain things, using W points, and just make them stronger, which is nice. You can see over on the right there how they will be improved in comparison. Not actually going to do it right now because I don't want to waste too much time. Here are the blades that you can apply to... this is where you come to apply blades. This is where you use skill points to enhance abilities, and the more of them you get, the further out on the tree you'll be able to go. As you can see, I just unlocked the second round of them. And I assume there's more as... Oh, no, maybe there won't be more. But yeah, as you can see... There's a bunch of different things going on here. And of course, you can do the same with every one of your characters. I've got a fair amount of skill points to use. And here's your accessories. This guy's my tank, so the fact that he's got aggro enhancing thing and increasing his maximum HP by 400, making him stronger, that's what I want. And here's your pouch items. You can expand your pouch items, but it only works for one character, which is kind of annoying. And this is where you come to put in your specific items. I don't think it really matters too much what items I put in what pouch, so I might as well just do that. You cannot set the same pouch item twice. That sucks. Oh well. Will increase his HP recovery. And apparently Pyra likes that, which is kind of a nice thing to know, but there you go. And of course, you can come here to modify your blades as well. Like, I can give her a scale chip, which will give her even stronger auto attack. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Because I actually like playing the attackers. You can play as any party member you want, by the way. Well, I'll be able to show that off. But yeah, here's your party members growth screen, where you can go to, your blades, screen, where you can go to improve them. So you can see that they've got their own skills as well. And as you saw earlier on when I went in that thing that sent me flying upwards, it used a specific set of skills from a specific set of people. This is a thing that can change between different blades and different party members. And you can also use Orcs cores, which are basically just accessories, but for your blades. And just for the purpose of demonstration, I can swap out the first two party members here. And when I exit the game, I am now playing as the short, fat, funny dude, which I actually find quite hilarious. So now, if I just hit the select button there, which I can use to change the time, because it's just a shortcut back to this menu here, I can now play in nighttime, and this means that I actually have the little quest marker there that I can go do. So we're going to go do that. We probably don't want to get in the way of that thing, because that thing is like level 87 and does like 10,000 damage a hit. We do not want to be near that. There are a couple of other things, like, yeah, here's a collection point. If you have a certain party member at certain collection points, they'll actually give you different things depending on, you know, depending on who can do what, as I said earlier. But, I mean, other than that, that's a pretty base explanation of what the game's like. You go out, collect resources, sell them, use them to buy things like accessories. It's super MMORPG. And the battle system, while it is interesting, I just wish it was quicker about getting me like a good set of party members. Obviously, I don't need to be up here. I need to be down. So I'm going to take full damage, but it's not going to be enough to kill me, thankfully. Right, we're just going to head this way, and we're actually going to get into this fight. There are a couple of minor things that I don't like about the gameplay. Like, I wish you could have more than 3 arts equipped at any one time. I wish there was a better map. The best map you get... Oh, well, we might as well fight these while we're here. But, as I was saying, I wish there was a proper map. The map in this game is kind of shit. It's kind of hard to figure out where you need to go and how everything connects sometimes. So, it just, yeah, just kind of grates trying to work your way around. I mean, like, I get that it's meant to encourage discovery more than anything else, but at the same time, I just find it kind of frustrating to work with, and I wish it was better. Oh, that's not good. Right, I better get in there and try to get its attention. Right, so I toppled it, so we get a few free hits. And I'll just try and get its attention again. I'm fighting level 18 thing and I haven't died yet. That's so strange. There are named monsters you can fight as well, if you want to do that sort of thing. We might as well use our special abilities on it, because this stuff empties out once you actually get out of the fight, which is kind of annoying as well. Not something I'm particularly a fan of. Like, I get the general idea. I know why they did it. I'm just annoyed by it, right? Because because it seems like that the game would go about better if I could save at least my arts. I could understand not having the specials, but not having arts is just kind of annoying, because you just have to wait for them to charge up every time, which means things start to look things start to feel relatively similar when you get into fights, because you just have to wait for your arts to recharge, and then you have to... Yeah, it's just a little bit odd like that. I'm going to get these items before they disappear, because they do indeed disappear. At least the game keeps things interesting by making it so you have to monitor your positioning, and you've got the 3 different blades that you can equip on everybody, which means everyone can be a certain role at any time. Like, for example, Rex has gone and swapped blades to the tank here, which is actually kind of an interesting strategy, having 2 tanks on the field at once. There is that whole thing they got going on, like how they have the, like how they have it so that certain characters will be better at certain roles. Like, Rex will always be better at the attacking sort of roles, but, you know, it doesn't seem too much of a lockdown to use a certain character in place of another character's special role, but, you know, that's just a thing worth talking about, even if only slightly. There's the full map again, right after I finish the fight. Right. We have to go fight these dudes, who are probably going to appear out of nowhere. Oh no, there they are. Right. Let's fight them. Get the quest reward. Actually got to press the button to equip your weapon, which is a little weird. The main thing this game's got going for it is its loop. It's not its gameplay itself. The gameplay is... It's basic, it's not terrible, not in the slightest. Like, it's actually quite enjoyable, but it doesn't extend too much beyond just the general MMORPG style of thing, and that's fine, just in and of itself. There are a couple of other things you can do, like, there are, like, little mini-games you can play and other things like that, but this is just the main way you play, which is just going out, finding stuff, taking it back, and getting your rewards for it and using it to improve your characters. There is, of course, the story, which is honestly not going too many places right now, but it's interesting enough, gives the characters a little bit of personality, actually a fair bit of personality. I should be a little bit more honest about that. It gives them a fair bit of personality, and it makes it so that they are interesting characters to follow around and talk to. Or talk with, I should say. You know, there is a reason why people like the heart-to-hearts in this game so much. In these games so much. It's not bad. Like, not even close, honestly. It's not even close to being bad. It's just... Considering how long it's taking to go, I wish I was a little bit more engaged. So here's my reward. I don't think I actually get any bonus XP for this, which is, yeah, kind of annoying. I get damage heal, which is kind of nice to have. Yeah, and now I can actually go and finish another couple of side quests here, so might as well go do that while we're here. How's the performance? The performance is... Well, you'll hear a lot of people about it getting pixelated, and yeah, there's what I'm talking about. Look at all of that. 500 bonus XP, a bunch of stuff, and just, yeah. The performance is alright. It does drop a little bit, and it does look a bit pixelated. Like, some people do complain about that. And, well, they're not wrong. In handheld mode, especially, the performance can drop a fair bit, and it can certainly... Oh, Electra. But yeah, it can dynamically reduce the resolution a bit to make things a little bit more under control. But in this game, it doesn't really matter too much. The frame rate drops aren't even remotely that bad. But, considering that the way the game's action RPG works and the timing, even when the frame rate drops, the timing still remains hittable. It isn't that bad of a thing at all, and the game still looks pretty nice. Cutscene?
え、どうしたの？うわごめんね。待って。私そんなつもりじゃ。助けるつもりだったのに、ひどいことしちゃった。
大丈夫だよライコ。今のは単なる事故だ。
あの男の子、泣いて落ち込んでたのにライコのおかげで元気に走っていったじゃんか。平気平気。ミヤさん、あがー！ミヤさんまで私のせいで。自分で制御できないくらいの力なんてなくなればいいのに。
Okay, gotta admit, wasn't expecting that. Oh god, it continues, doesn't it?
ライコは？
どこにもいないんだ。
見て、あっちの方で雷が。あの強烈なのはきっとライコですもん。いつの間にあんなところに。急ごう、レックス。
ああ、ライコを追いかけよう。
Okay, that's kind of neat. I was not expecting that. I'm not going to say it's the active quest because I have quests here that I need to turn in. But yeah, it looks like that I have been kicked out of... I've been kicked out of using Electro for now, which is a little odd, but... Oh, hey. Tiger. But yeah, the performance, I mean, while it does drop, and it would be nice if it didn't, it doesn't seem to really impact the gameplay in any meaningful way, so I'm not too annoyed by it. That's my general thoughts on that. And people are probably also wondering what's my thought on the game's character designs. Yes, indeedy. Well, how do I put this? The game is exceedingly Japanese, and I guess I'm kind of used to it at this point. Like, I've been playing tons of exceedingly Japanese games for a while now, and, well, the character designs have always been a bit over the top. So, like, I mean, you've got Poppy here, who's the artificial blade, and in her first cutscene, you get a little glimpse of what her fat little maker intended her for, and that includes maid outfits. And, like, 3 or 4 years ago, that would have thrown me off so hard that I would have wondered what the hell was wrong with this game, but since I've been playing Japanese games for so long, this didn't even register on the radar as weird. It's just, it's not over the top in any way. It's just decidedly Japanese. And the nice thing about Japanese people is that they like their characters being not so much ridiculous stereotypes, but at the same time, they're never average. They're always a fair bit more extreme. And I gotta admit, after having played games that insist on being horrendously diverse by having such boring characters sometimes, to the point where some characters are just so ridiculously token, at least with these games, the extremeness of some of the characters makes them fun, even if they're a little bit stereotypical. I think that's what I'm trying to say anyway. Like, I love how Poppy does all the, like, little robot dances and stuff like that, and I love how Pyra is just kind of ridiculous with those and that. And you think that's bad? The game's design gets even more over the top with that. But yeah, frankly, I don't care. If you've been playing Japanese games for even you know what? Screw it. Let's go over there and see what that quest is. But more fun than the quest I had planned to fix up anyway. That's a lot of XP. I should be really worried. I should be really worried about this, so... Oh dear. But alright, let's do this. So, am I having fun with Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm quite enjoying it a lot as just a Japanese RPG in general. It's well crafted, it looks nice, sounds nice for the most part, and it is enjoyable, if not a bit lightweight gameplay. My only problems with it, I can't tell if it's because of my first impressions of it, because it's a Japanese RPG, and you can never really get good first impressions from a Japanese RPG just by playing the first few hours of it. These are the sorts of games you really need to get 20 to 30 hours in to really get a good idea about them. But at the same time, I'm enjoying what I'm playing. The game's got a bunch of things that work in its favor. Like, it's giant open worlds that you're more or less free to explore. Of course, if you run into an enemy that's a couple of levels higher than you, you will get your shit kicked in. But you've got big worlds, lots of dudes to fight, a fair few quests to do, some interesting character customization, avoid that like the plague, and just... it is fun. It's a bit over the top, it's very Japanese, it is actually kind of the stereotypical Japanese RPG, in a sense, just with some neat MMO style mechanics. I'm just gonna skip this because this is starting to this is taking up a lot of time. At the end I'll come back and I'll fight that level 12 thing, because oh god, I have to go really far. You know what, screw it, let's just fight this thing while we're here. The Sad Bernard, okay. Let's fight. Although I probably want to run away and let the tank start taking the hits, but okay. Then we'll go after Electra again. That's a bit unfortunate. Getting a good tanky blade and then immediately losing it to a side quest. I mean, yeah, there are some things I don't like. I wish the blades weren't as random. I wish the map was better. I wish it wasn't so slow to get started. You know, a few things like that. But there's a lot here that I am enjoying. I'm enjoying... the combat, while it's got its flaws, is fun enough as an MMO style thing, and at least it's got stuff like positioning going on to give it a little bit of an extra sense of depth. I should get over here and heal my teammate. I gotta let the auto attacks play out so I can... I haven't actually played as Nia, so I don't recognize her, brain work with me. I don't actually recognize her auto attack chains. It's something you've got to learn. There we go, got one for once. Might as well use my, heat ability while I can. I forgot that I did actually say I was gonna go salvage something, didn't I? Never actually did. Go me. But yeah, as you can see, we are having a little bit of trouble taking on this. Ooh. Whoa. That did nothing at all. Oh shit. Alright, I need some health potions. And they dropped over the edge and ripped Tora. Come on, get up, you son of a bitch. I think there's actually a salvage point around here somewhere. Just out towards the edge. So I might be able to go and have a look at that. Right, we'll concentrate on this one, can we? Just so we can get it out of the way. get a healing halo up because we are starting to take way more damage than I would like. Concentrate on that. Healing potions. Drop down here and gotta grab some of the healing potions that I have because, oh dear, we've lost Rex. I need to go get Rex up. That's really bad. Come on. Oh, no, just missed it. This is not going very well at all. Let's use Pandemic while I go and get Rex up. Ah, this ain't good. Come on, up you get. And of course, he called in his mates. So we are like 10 different kinds of screwed. Including that big level 9 one there. Yeah, we're screwed. We're done. I'm not going to be able to beat these dudes. Yep, and everybody attacks me, and I am dead. More or less. There we go, there it is. I tried and I failed miserably. That sounds about like my... That sounds about right for me and my MO. Alright, so I'm gonna go salvage something, just so I can do what I promised to do like 20 minutes ago. And then we'll call this video to an end, because this is pretty much an accurate demonstration. Running around all over the place, getting quests, finding stuff to fight, trying to level up, doing your... watching cutscenes and stuff like that. Like, this is a good demonstration of what the game is basically like. So, let's do this. It's actually kind of hard to get a salvage point the first time because all the salvage points have the same button combo for some reason, and the first time you see it, you're probably not going to get it because it's just fast enough to make it so that it's kind of hard to get it right. But anyway, we got a few things that we salvaged, so we can pick these all up and then immediately get into a fight because you end up pulling up enemies along as well. Which is actually kind of annoying because you can end up pulling up enemies that are actually way stronger than you if you're in specific areas, and you will die. Which is frustrating. But yeah, that was a look at Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's your pretty stereotypical Japanese RPG, but it's got some good characters, a giant world, and it's a lot more like an MMO than your typical JRPG. So you've got a few things different, I should say. Some interesting mechanics going on. It's a bit slow, the map's a bit crap, and there's a couple of other things like the voice acting and stuff that isn't particularly great, but I'm still enjoying it. It's not a masterpiece based on the first few hours that I've played of it, but it's still pretty good, and I would like to play more of it. So hopefully you've seen enough of the game to make a decision on whether or not you'd like to buy it or not. So I am going to stop the video now because we've been at this for 50 minutes. So this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.